Hello everyone and welcome back to the Quake Pro League. We've got 2 matches left. We've got some Maestro Madness to start things off between RAISY and vengeurR, and to finish off the evening we have Avec versus Cypher. So we can't really complain here, and we've got another lovely gentleman to join us here, Flea. It is of course Wheat, and it'll be fantastic to have him on board to give us a bit of a hand here to see exactly how these 2 matches will go. Wheat, how are you getting on, mate?
I'm getting on great, and you are right. I cannot complain, and I don't think anyone else can about these 2 matches that are coming up, especially considering where we're at, week 12. Every win, every map win, so important right now as we go into not only the final week, but then setting up for the finals. So great to be here again on another Quake Sunday. Hello, everyone. Been doing a great job today, Lethal and Flea. Thank you so much for the entertainment, and I'm excited for these 2.
Oh, stop it, you. Just stop it, as we're going to go into the matchup very shortly, but we're going to discuss things a little bit further first. I'll start with you, Flea. Like, you've seen RAISY and vengeurR quite a few occasions. This could be just a flavour of what's to come, because these 2 could definitely battle it out as, you know, definitely one of the favourites coming into maybe even taking the Stage 3 finals. Neither of them actually won a QuakeCon, and both have been playing out of their minds to practice to the best of their ability to try and topple Rafa if they can, because it's been a while. It's been at least 12 months now, and no one's been able to stop him. So, you know, apart from that aside, how do you feel this matchup's going to go between the likes of RAISY and vengeurR?
This is a classic matchup, right? RAISY versus vengeurR, name a more iconic duo. This is about as good as it gets. I took a look at their match history, not just for the previous game, but because they have such a long-standing, you know, compatriotism going on. I took a look at some more extended results. Last time they played, vengeurR won 3-1. That was in the Stage 2 finals. Then in Stage 2, vengeurR won again 2-1. And then in the first stage, it was RAISY who won 2-1. So far, vengeurR has won twice. This season, RAISY has won once. And it's always an incredibly close matchup. I don't think I've ever seen a 3-0 between these guys in any sort of Quake Pro League matchup. So we are in for a huge treat. This is extremely difficult to call.
I agree. I mean, there's the route you could go, Flea, where it's like, let's look at this on paper, right? RAISY at rank 6, he's 4-3 in series, 14-7. vengeurR, his teammate, 6-1, who is 15-6 in maps. And if you just went off the historicals and we compared these stats here on paper, vengeurR might have a little bit of an advantage. But as you said, these 2 players kind of know one another. They often produce these phenomenal games. I don't think that you can just easily predict what could happen. And I would also say the other really interesting part about this is that RAISY really kind of needs this win. If vengeurR were to take this one, this would probably be the lowest that RAISY would ever find himself going into a stage finals, which RAISY is a player that could take care of it, but it's, as a player, you want to give yourself every chance that you possibly can.
Yeah, definitely can indeed. Let's have a look at the picks and bans now between these 2 titans. We're going to see who's going to be playing what, but we'll find out straight away, as Awoken will be played first, Deep Embrace second, and Corrupted Keep will be the final map in this series. A lot of small maps in. It's not something really we expected. Like, yeah, I thought we were going to get a bit of a taster of, something a little bit more unique, but it looks like it's going to be fast, aggressive. vengeurR banning the clutch, and let's be honest here, not really too surprising. But yeah, I think this is pretty standard. I think we're going to see a lot more standard Quake in comparison, because they don't want to give anything away for the finals, but also at the same time, a lot of pride and confidence will be at stake leading into the Stage 3 finals.
Looking back at their most recent match, they also played Awoken, they also played Keep. Very, very similar to what these players enjoy playing. Now starting it off on Awoken, Doomslayer versus Strog, a lot of mobility for both of these players. Then Deep Embrace, Athena, second time we're seeing her in action today, versus Ranger. It's going to be quite the spectacle. And then finally, Corrupted Keep, Death Knight versus BJ. That is going to be one brawl to behold.
I'm really loving this map pick between these 2. Any map is going to produce great matches between these 2. But I must admit, I'm pretty fond of these smaller boxes, which will force not only a lot of action, but just a lot of intelligent play as well. We've been seeing Athena pop her head in more during the meta as well. You know, with Rafa kind of bringing Athena out more. Excited to see vengeurR. I don't think this is the first time we've seen vengeurR on the Athena, but maybe on Deep Embrace. I know we've seen the Athena on Awoken, but anyway, I'm definitely excited for that second matchup. It's one of my favorite maps that's in the pool right now, and you know, seeing the Athena on it should be pretty interesting. And then the Corrupted Keep, BJ, expect to see the DK for RAISY. You know, again, another interesting matchup. I think this one's going to keep us guessing all the way to the end.
Yeah, nothing really too off meta. Maybe the Athena on Deep Embrace, but that's literally about it. We see a lot of Doom on Awoken with the Strog as well. And even at the very last hurdle on Corrupted Keep, we're seeing the BJ versus the Death Knight. We've seen a huge amount of Death Knight on Corrupted Keep over the last few weeks. And seeing the BJ, let's be honest, that's been standard from the beginning leading up to this moment anyway. But before we let you go, Flea, and of course we will be discussing a little bit further, I want to know your guys' predictions, because this is going to be pretty damn tough to call.
I'm going to have to give it to vengeurR in the end. I think this is going to be 2-1 for the Italian stallion today. RAISY just really hasn't been looking too hot this stage. Weech mentioned it himself, right? He currently has 4 wins, but then he also has 3 losses, which is some of the weakest we've seen, at least on paper, for RAISY in quite a while. So I hope that he's been practicing hard and that he's getting warmed up for the stage finals. But so far, vengeurR played almost half of this stage without losing a single match. I am going to have to favor him in this matchup.
I mean, Flea said everything. I mean, really, there's not much else to add. This one is a little bit of paper, but the heart also says vengeurR's been looking really good in his post-game interviews. He seems very centered. He seems very in tune with what he needs to do to have his best performance in the stage finals. And this is just one additional stop on that journey. So I'm going to also agree with Flea and say 2-1 vengeurR.
I'm going to echo as well, because I'm going to be really boring and say, but yeah, vengeurR probably 2-1 as well. And it won't be too much of a surprise, but we'll have to see, really. It's very hard to call, especially on maps like this. We haven't really got too much to digest. But Flea, I'm sorry, mate, you're going to have to go, but don't worry, we'll be back for the final series and at the very end of this matchup anyway, so don't you guys worry about that at home. But Wheat, we've got a fantastic match for you to start things off here as well. 3, you know, very small maps, like you rightly said, in terms of the map size in general. But yeah, like, I'll be honest, when I saw them, I saw that twinkle in your eye. I knew you were going to get extremely excited going into this.
I mean, every map in the pool right now has its own merits, reasons to like it. But I'm not going to lie, when it comes to Quake, right, I like it a little bit dirty. So the smaller the map and the more that potentially, you know, you do need to kind of constantly be battling, constantly be watching what's happening. Control is obviously such a big part of these small maps as well. So yes, the twinkle in the eye is very real, Lethal, as I think this is an awesome map pool for this particular setup.
Yeah, this is going to get very messy, or as I call it, you know, a strategic mess in some ways, because it's going to be very hard to call. There's going to be a lot of mind games. Both these players are going to be thinking twice about every action they take, but at the same time, I don't think it's going to be too standard of Quake. We can see a little bit of standardness just due to the fact that we're very close to the finals. Don't want to give too much away, but at the same time, there's a bit of pride at stake. So for you guys at home watching it, it's going to be RAISY versus vengeurR. It's going to be the first map in. I'm sure it's going to be spectacular. And we are going to start off from RAISY's POV, as already he's picked up the rail. Looks like the rockets already, but vengeurR's coming blazing with a fantastic LG. He's going to try and clean them up if he can. And RAISY somehow gets away, but how long for? 9 HP, still able to stay alive. And I'm actually gobsmacked how he's going to stay alive. 17 HP, he should not have got away with that week.
No, he shouldn't, and I'm gonna apologize ahead of time. I am not in client, so I'm gonna do my best to follow along here as much as I can. But yeah, I mean, a great little start there. You know, with RAISY in terms of where he is at, he's gonna pick up that heavy yet again, and I do expect Lethal, like, you know, I paint this picture like it's gonna be. Oh, there's the first frag, nice rocket jump up to the top. I paint this picture like, oh, it's just going to be like they're going to go off spawn and they're just going to start firing stuff at each other. It's going to be nutty. But you could just see kind of the strategy that goes into starting this map off. I love that little cheeky little play there by RAISY to give himself a little bit of self-damage to pick up that light and try to deny those away from vengeurR. But he puts himself and positions himself pretty nicely here with that first frag. He's going to go in with Peeker to try to deny that heavy, but it doesn't quite happen in exchange of rails. But RAISY still seems to be on top here.
Just hitting all these rails. RAISY doing a great job, just being able to do a huge amount of work against vengeurR. Already up 2-0. Not something we expected straight away. I suppose that little mishap at the very beginning may have affected vengeurR mentally in a few ways. Good try bot from RAISY because he knew he was stuck in a bad place. Still got a huge stack. vengeurR needs to try and get away with his life if he can. He's top mid and managed to stop that Peeker. RAISY knows he must be railable. Oh, fantastic tri-bolt there.
Ooh.
Still got a huge stack. Heavy's coming up in the next 15 seconds. Gonna, of course, prioritize the kill just due to the fact that Heavy's not coming up for a while. And now it's going to be his chance to go for it.
There's two things I want people to remember here as we're watching this. 2 minutes in, RAISY up 4-0. You know, we all said 2-1, right? And you cannot deny that RAISY is a remarkably awesome player. This is exactly what he is capable of, what we are seeing here. His 5th frag picked up, another huge splash of damage off of the spawn as well as he's trying to fend for this mega. But the other thing you also have to remember is that vengeurR has had some of the sickest comebacks in this stage of the QPL, right? We've seen him go down by 6 and then bring it back to potentially tie the game. Sometimes win, sometimes lose, not always, but that's something I'm going to be looking for. However, RAISY looking very strong, finally stopped by vengeurR 6-1. So a 5 frag difference is what RAISY was able to pick up in that first 3 minutes, and that in and of itself is very impressive.
That comeback you were discussing there, this could be the time for it. vengeurR's got a little bit of a feel for RAISY there, making the assumption he must be around that LG area still, but just faking the LG jump. He expected it as well. Dropping down, it's going to be the LG battle outside the heavy machine gun. vengeurR comes out on top, needs to go for that heavy once he's picked up the light, but it looks like RAISY is also going for it. But will vengeurR be able to come out on top? Yes, he does. 15 HP. The Mega's up any second now, but has decided to back away and go for the light instead. Use the Berserk to try and get away as quickly as possible. Not going to happen as RAISY, even though he's up 7-3, vengeur's definitely making his usage to try and claw this back. Peeker's doing a fair amount of damage as it is, just using the timing perfectly. Does even more damage to him there. It's actually pinned him on those health bubbles and finished him up beautifully again with that rail. Great stuff from RAISY for trying to come back from that deficit to increase his lead 8-3.
I mean, this is the RAISY that we saw when he is playing at his best, right? No doubt about it. These rails are on point. His decision making is really solid, and we've seen vengeurR, right, make a couple of really great decisions too. One of them being grabbing that light before that engagement at heavy that allowed him to survive there. Of course, vengeurR still doing RAISY still doing enough damage that he was able to bring that frag kind of back and control back in his favor. So 8-3 now, though, halfway through this game or getting to that point, and I'm really impressed with RAISY right now. I'm kind of excited to see what happens, especially because many people often say, you know, who owns Corrupted Keep? Sometimes it's been RAISY, sometimes it's been Rafa, sometimes it's been vengeurR. So we've got that map coming up too. But 8-4 as vengeurR does manage to claw one back. And this lead is slowly diminishing as there was a very, very nice frag as the shotgun connects midair.
Beautiful LG, but even better rockets there from RAISY. Has to stand his ground now. The heavy's up in the next couple of seconds. Needs to try and bag that if he can. He's just out of range with the LG, but the amount of damage RAISY's doing with the LG is just ridiculous, to save at least, but he would have fallen out anyway, even if RAISY didn't clean him up. RAISY on the spawns, making sure to try and inflict as much as possible before taking that Mega. Picks up the lights, trying to back away, using those defensive rockets in case, but vengeurR is on the aggressive, but RAISY's in the perfect position for this heavy. It's just a matter of if vengeurR's going to contest it. He did make the attempt, but after tanking that first rail, not going to happen, and RAISY is absolutely stacked.
Yep, Carmageddon and Chat said these guys are scary. I agree. It's scary in the best possible way, right? And Quake skills only. But some great rails too coming out by RAISY. I mean, he is just hitting some real bangers. It's hard to imagine some of these shots that he is setting up and hitting so nicely. But 4 minutes left to go. We talked about the vengeurR comeback, that is a thing. However, versus RAISY, this is still going to be tough. Like, RAISY's been holding on. Most importantly, though, he's hitting those rails, and that's making a huge difference in separating himself here from vengeurR and being able to hold on to that lead. So 4-frag lead, still a lot of time here, but I think RAISY probably feeling pretty good about the position that he's in. Peak coming out yet again. He's actually going to stop short on that, but then that follow-up rail, right? vengeurR is always at this point where he is not able to fight with the full stack because RAISY keeps hitting those perfect rails.
And he knows what routes vengeurR's going to take to get away, and just faking some of his sound cues in order to make vengeurR back away from instances where RAISY's predicting him to be, and we're now to close him out every single time. So there's a lot of mind games involved. Still 5 frags behind. Still possible for vengeurR to try and bring this back. It's using that peeking now just to give himself a bit of info, but he realises that vengeurR's just down below. Done 47 damage with that last rocket. Misses the last rail. Is going to come diving in with that rocket. Good LG, but the rockets are looking even better. But both players are oh, that was so close. But RAISY's going to come out with a nice clean shotgun shot to finish off that last frag. The LG will he be able to finish this one up as well. Misses the last rocket, but still manages to finish up vengeurR. 12-5, 2.5 minutes left.
Yeah, I think vengeurR might have thought RAISY was a little bit lower than he was, and probably didn't calculate that he picked up that 25 in the hallway. Otherwise, I don't think he would have chased on that frag. Right now, down by 7, and make that 8, and that's going to be a huge position here for RAISY, as he will likely lock up victory here in map number 1. It was very close, but RAISY never really letting vengeurR find much footing when he did land control. There's a quick little peeker kill to make it 14-5, and vengeurR's going to need to reset and say, all right, I need to set my sights on map number 2, but RAISY is definitely going to set a precedent here with a very phenomenal victory.
Yes. RAISY dictating the pace. And in terms of rail percentage, RAISY's on 59%. So far, trying to increase it, but vengeurR's caught in a little bit of trouble there for RAISY. vengeurR made a great prediction, but misses that rail. But yeah, like you already said, it's way too late. vengeurR's have to worry about this next map and getting a lot of great usage with that peeker.
I mean, RAISY's not giving vengeurR even a moment to stop, to like slow things down. And oftentimes I think that's when RAISY plays at his best, when he sort of has control over the speed in which the game is being played. And I mean, part of that has to do with that sick rail that he keeps on throwing out there. You know, we've seen him then follow up with whether that be Shoddy or the LG that he's doing. But it is just unmatched as another one comes out 17-5. Where's this RAISY been, Lethal? Hibernating.
Hibernating, waiting for the stage 3 finals by the look of things. He's made his own little frag video just going forward, but just increasing this lead. I don't think I've ever seen vengeurR beaten this badly, and if I have done, it's probably been a very long time, and just continuing piling on the pressure. Look at RAISY go, just absolutely flying, swinging, you name it, he's doing it. He's only got 10 seconds left to try and bag this 20th frag. He could do it, has a slightly bigger stack and the weapons. He's going to try and go for it. Only 5 seconds left, going for a flank. Not going to happen, but let's be real here. The damage has been done. GG's come out from both players. And what a way to start things off. RAISY with a dominating performance, 20-5.
I'm really impressed with that game from RAISY. I mean, you look at the rails that were coming out, who's making some great decisions. He wasn't being overly aggressive, but he was still forcing vengeurR into situations that vengeurR didn't want to be in. Also, he was controlling those lights really well. You know, keeping stack away from vengeurR just made his job a little bit easier. But coming out in this first matchup with a 20-5 scoreline, wow. You know, I think that may make some predictions change up here a little bit, but we'll have to see as we head on into map number 2 on Deep Embrace.
Yeah, I'm quite interested in the prediction as well. I think it was 60% in favor of vengeurR, but the way RAISY was playing and the fact that there's no large maps in this pool, it could definitely swing something completely different. But then again, it was Awoken, and we know what vengeur's like. It can just mentally reset and then just go into the next one, as though the last one did not happen. And I believe the next one is going to be Corrupted Keep, and vengeurR, you can see, yeah, it's just giggling a little bit. It's like, well, yeah, it's pretty much been done. There's nothing more I can do. A few mistakes here and there, but yeah, it just tallied up, as you can see overall. 1,148 more damage, 58% rail, 42% LG as well. Look at the damage he's done with both of those weapons just in itself.
It showed.
Just speaks volumes.
Yeah, and then, you know, again, I mentioned it earlier, but look at the major items or the item pickups for both players. You know, 13 heavies, 10 megas, but 24 lights. When you compare that to the 8 megas, 5 heavies, and 20 lights, you could tell, okay, vengeurR had a hard time having any sort of a stack. But RAISY should be commended for being able to pick up 24 lights when he also had that much control over the major items too. So really impressive display. And as we head into the finals, Lethal, this is exactly the type of RAISY I think that we want to see.
Absolutely. He's one of the top contenders to try and win the finals as well. We know that, I think it was the last stage finals. I wouldn't say it was a disappointing performance. He did get top 6, but at the end of the day, you know what he's like. He's normally one of the gatekeepers for the top 2, top 3 spots. So he's obviously thought about that in terms of thinking back in the past, where he doesn't want the same to apply and be an exact replica, especially with one of the biggest finals now leading into the Quake World Championships. It's going to be very, very tough indeed. And the question is now, like vengeurR, he doesn't want his pride or any kind of, you know, demoralization like coming into the finals either. So even trying to come back and take this map will give him a bit of leeway again and actually help him push forward. But yeah, that was definitely a dominating performance. It's like you said, where's this RAISY been? Well, here he is. He's made a return a few weeks prior to the Stage 3 finals.
Yep, looking great. And taking a look at the predictions here in chat, RAISY at 56%, vengeurR at 44%. So still a very split prediction pool. But RAISY, after that masterful performance, I think bringing even more fans over into his favor as we get started here for our second map, Deep Embrace. Will RAISY, who does desperately need this win for his ranking setting in the final, will he take it in this next map, or will vengeurR stop him, forcing us to go to a third to find out who the series decider goes to? And we are now underway and in battle, this time following last map's champion, RAISY, off of the spawn, picking up that LG, grabbing the mega first off. And let's see what he's going to do. Once again, slowing it down, Lethal, as he prepares for this first frag, very similar to what we saw, allowed him to sneak by there, steal away that railgun. And honestly, the way the rail was warmed up in his hands in the last map, I'm not surprised to see that. And I would expect that we'll see a lot of rail action. Boom! Right off the bat. How did he even hit that shot? I can't believe it. Ooh. And then a second one to follow it up for first blood, and an impressive... Man, RAISY, take that rail away.
Yeah, not a bad way to start things off here. In the first minute of this matchup, RAISY dropping down to see if he can corner off vengeurR. Does have the LG, he's looking to keep his distance as well. But backing away with the Athena, going top mid. RAISY knows his whereabouts. This is a manner if he can stay in range of the LG, which he did. But now the Mega and the Heavy are both coming up almost in sync, and depends on who wants to try and go for what. As RAISY's actually looking to progress towards the Heavy to see if he can take it down, but it looks like it's not going to happen, as vengeurR does pick up the Heavy, gets the frag as well, doing extra damage onto RAISY. He is available, but decided to play it safe, stick with the shotgun. Perfectly understandable. Going to take a little bit more time, but makes perfect sense. Hits that first rail, using the grapple hook as well to get up top to avoid being taken down, because he was railable. Still is railable, actually. He's just waiting to see when this light's going to appear. He's probably hoping for dear God, but RAISY doesn't approach him, does tank another rail. Has managed to heal up again, but this is where he's going to have to back away for the next 20 seconds. But look at that, though. Great first rail. He's looking to try and get a second onto him as he picks up the Mega. He does not, but RAISY has found the opening, but somehow vengeurR still comes out on top. And now, though, it's going to be very tough to call as RAISY now down by 2 frags, vengeurR up 3-1.
Yeah, I mean, vengeurR to almost like a completely different player here. RAISY does finally, after grabbing that rail right off of the spawn, hit one that was perfect, using that grapple to get in and grab the heavy and somehow steals away that frag, but needs to be very careful here, down to 27 points of health. Will grapple over to grab the 225s there in the hole. Some nice rocket to bounce his opponent up. And RAISY is very low. vengeurR knows it. Use that grapple to get some momentum going through the teleporter. He only needs to one shot, but RAISY catches him mid-air with the LG, and vengeurR basically gives him that frag.
Oh, he does manage to get it, but he actually orbs up and steals the heavy, but he's still pretty weak.
Wow.
And finishes him off with that last rail shot to tie things up. RAISY does pick up the mega, but look at this. Look at the amount of damage vengeur's doing with that heavy machine gun. He wants to do a little bit more. He's going to play it safe now as he picks up the light, but RAISY has also picked up the light and 2 of those health bubbles from the murder holes, so he can continue with the aggression if he wants. Both players looking to make an approach for that heavy, as you can see, but RAISY's going to have to put a hold to that, as there's no way he can engage with 43 HP. As you remember rightly, he picked up that light not too long ago. He's waiting for it to spawn. Not too sure if it'll spawn in time. No, he has to give it up. And the heavy machine gun from vengeurR has been very, very good. Trying to finish him with the LG as well. He's only on 9 HP. Good hook. Like the play from RAISY there to try and decide whether he wanted to push him with the orb, but doesn't pull it off. And vengeurR had to back away once again.
Yeah, I mean, vengeur's, I assume he realizes that the orb went off right as he killed RAISY, but vengeur's got to be feeling good about that if he didn't know. As like 40 seconds till that was going to be back up, and vengeurR will grab another frag. That puts him 2 frags in the lead, and first time that we've kind of seen him here. And this is definitely, I mean, look at these rails now. Whoa! 3 in a row, 4 off the spawn. Is there a 5th here? He's looking for it. He's looking for it, Lethal. Spinning around. Oh, he misses it, but that's okay. 4 is pretty damn impressive. And into the pit does he go? Out the map. Oh, he orbs back on. A miraculous save coming in from RAISY, but the rail from vengeurR. And these 2 are insane.
Oh, and he's still continuing the aggression, and vengeur's not really taking too much damage in the process. Hits the first rail on the spawn, misses the second, but has already done itself justice. He's just playing out of his skull again and just keeping this pressure on. RAISY doesn't know where to go. He's thinking, well, what do I do next? He's just been hit by a direct, waiting for RAISY to make the first move. He's backed away, 50 HP. Hits him with that rocket, but he manages to pick up that mega here. He's backing away again, only on 20 HP. Looking to see what else he can do, but RAISY is vulnerable. vengeurR doesn't realize he's behind him, absorbs that rail, hits one of his own. He's going to try and hit it again. No, he will not. He's just going to switch to the shotgun, wait for him to spare it on spawn. Actually hits him with the few nail shots, doesn't hit the rail. Going to be coming up again. Will he get him with the LG? I'm not too sure. 17 HP. Both of them are extremely weak. No more rails for vengeurR, as he has to now try and back away.
This is one of the best games I've seen on Deep Embrace already. I know we're only halfway through, but I mean, this is just absolutely bonkers. The commitment that both these players have to the aggression and the shots that they're taking, just incredible. And vengeurR is turning the tables here in a big way and really showing how Athena has broken into the meta a little bit in these types of matchups here. We do have the orb coming out from RAISY as he goes up to the top, and a beautiful stream of LG as RAISY goes for the mega, and that is going to put vengeurR in a great spot here yet again. He's going to be able to grapple up and grab that heavy. RAISY going right after him. That was a very risky move, but he does manage to get a significant amount of damage against his opponent. But, I mean, vengeurR is using every tool in his tool belt right now, from the spamming of the plasma off of the spawn to these rails that are coming out to the heavy machine gun as well. And he knows when he can commit and when he cannot. And it has definitely made a huge difference here so far in this matchup.
Look at the scoreline, 14-4. Now, the reason why I mention it a lot more this time around compared to Awoken, because it's a lot harder to keep this kind of scoreline on a map like Deep Embrace, but he's just making it look easy. Just, again, just masterclass from vengeurR. Finally. Took a while, but RAISY managed to get a frag for himself. 10 frag deficit in the next 3 minutes, so it's very unlikely. Okay, the direct just made it worse. Spawn rail as well. He's going to be looking for the second, and he hits it, Tweet. Oh, dearie me. He picks up the Mega. He's going to be looking for him on the spawn again. So go up top mid. Going to see if he can try and get a few more rocket shots. Good shot there. But he's not available, though. Misses that last shot, which is not something we'd normally see after the amount of clutch rails we've seen so far, but so weak. 69 HP. It does back away. RAISY misses that rail, but let's be honest here. It's pretty much curtains for RAISY here. Oh my god!
Wow. That was unreal. The orb to the corner, the perfect read of it, and then the follow-up rocket for his 18th frag. I mean, you know, frankly, vengeur's got to be thinking, oh, 20-5 on Awoken? Let me show you what I can do, right? and he's trying to return the favor here a little bit. And if this match continues the way it does and vengeurR picks up the victory, I can only imagine what Corrupted Keep is going to look like here, as both players have traditionally been very strong on that map at 6-19. As we do see RAISY start to bring it back. The question is, you know, can he get the 13 frags he needs in 2 minutes? I'm going to tell you, this is a spoiler, everyone. No, he cannot. vengeurR has won this map in an incredible way.
It's just incredible use of the Infina, like with the hooks and everything, and the rockets he was using. It's been an absolute blessing, this match, and a lot of flair from both these players, especially from vengeurR as well. Some of the stuff he got away with, you know, props to him, you know, I'll definitely take my hat off to him. There's some of the stuff he was able to get away with and be able to do here. Is RAISY's probably thinking the same thing. He's thinking, like, what on earth's going on? I won 25 last time. How am I losing 22-7 on a map which is actually even harder to keep such a large scoreline at this level? And he's going to, you know, play for pride at this point, trying to claw up a few frags into this dying moments of this map. But it does mean, no, wait. Going to this third map, it's going to be the decider.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way we want it here on Quake Sunday, too. That's pretty exciting. I mean, it would have been exciting if RAISY would have pulled out 2-0 and won the series in map number 2. But, you know, we all three of us predicted that it's going to be a 2-1. So we're seeing exactly the predictions come true. Whether or not it is vengeurR or RAISY, we're going to have to wait for map 3. We did get that dire orb kill right there. It was nicely done as Heavy's back up. RAISY grabs it, but in the final 30 seconds, as the vengeurR fights on those health bubbles, stays alive a little bit longer. Is there a rail to get frag number 23? I don't know, but RAISY did his best to keep that scoreline a little bit closer than it was on Awoken. Unfortunately, not enough that he can claim victory in this map. And we're going to a third and final for the decider.
Yeah, just not giving us a rest, are they? Trying to pass it to you on a number of occasions, Wheat, but just could not. It was just constant action from start to finish. 23-10. But the big talking point has got to be the damage. You can see there nearly 2,000 more damage, and everyone at home will see the damage spread out between the LG, the rockets, and the rail. It's just remarkable stuff there from vengeurR, and I wasn't really too sure how he was going to retaliate or respond after that first map, and we got it, and we responded extremely well, a lot better than we predicted. He's able to you know, in terms of his mindset, managed to reset it, you know, perfectly, just shook it off, just pretend the first map never happened, and did the exact same, if not worse, on the second.
Yeah, I mean, everything about that map was great. And someone in chat was like, you're going to say this is the best match you've ever seen every single week. I was like, hey, if that's how we end stage 3, great. I'm not going to complain. I really am not going to complain. That was a phenomenal matchup. You know, the top 10 plays that, video that comes out every week on twitter.com/Quake. This whole map could have its own top 10 plays on it. There's just no doubt about it. The fact that they both shot very similar rails, 50%, 57% rail accuracy, about 1,700 damage across the board, also really impressive, especially when we consider that vengeurR did that extra 2,000 damage. That's pretty wild.
Yeah, it will end up being the Maestro top 10 at this point from what we've seen. It's only been 2 maps, and we can't even control ourselves. The blood pressure is rising. And look at the percentages, though, from vengeurR. 57% rail, 48% LG. And you got to remember as well, like, he actually fired a huge amount of shots, and to still have that high percentile, that's massive for vengeurR leading into his third map.
Yeah. And map 3, Corrupted Keep. Sometimes it's been called RAISY's Keep. Sometimes people have said, oh, Rafa is the best. vengeurR has also shown this is where a lot of his totally bonkers comebacks have happened on. But this was once known as RAISY's Keep with the Death Knight. Can he bring it back? We mentioned that he needs it for the rankings heading into the finals in just a few weeks. But vengeurR, I don't know. I mean, I like strap in, ladies and gentlemen, because this is going to be a good one.
It certainly will be. And it's not any off-meta picks either. Very standard, you know. Normally, people will go to, you know, the Death Knight, the Strog, or the BJ. The Strog's already been selected earlier on the first map on the Woken, so I don't see any of that. But seeing the BJ versus Death Knight, perfectly understandable. Just a matter of how much usage they'll get out of his abilities and how much value they can get out of it. So it's the final map of this series. It's always been very, very good, but now it's 1-1 as we're going to see who's going to close out this final map in this series. And already RAISY starting off with his POV, great stuff with the heavy machine gun, goes off the LG straight afterwards, and oh my god, vengeurR took a massive hit there.
You know, I figured no rail. This is definitely going to be a battle of the LGs, and RAISY is ready for it. His second frag quickly there as he throws out the fire and manages to clean up with that LG. And I mean, look at he has not really left this area that much. He's going to grab Mega once again, probably just make sure he gets back to you know, some more rockets so he can be ready for that. But he really is like, I like this statue. This is my room. If you notice, there's a sign that says no vengeur's allowed, and he's trying to keep him out. So RAISY up 2-0 here in the first minute, as vengeur's going to have to figure out what is my plan of attack here when I have an opponent whose lightning gun is looking as impressive as this rail did earlier.
In those first two frags, RAISY didn't really take a lot of damage, so he was able to continue on pressurizing vengeurR. Oh, that rocket from vengeurR to get him back in this matchup. Yeah, I was a bit worried that things will spiral out of control. I thought completely wrong. It's only been a minute and a half here. RAISY comes in guns blazing, but vengeur's got the advantage here. Great
Beautiful
rocket to clean things up. Is now back on the mark, one frag behind. And yeah, still early days as of yet.
Wow, he lands that defensive rocket and even does some additional damage, but still running for his life. Almost hits another midair right there. He is just pecking away at the damage here. The Mega is back up, but he knows that'd be a little risky to go for it. The dual wheel comes out with the machine guns, and he ties it up 3-3 in what has already been an incredible game 3 here for the series to decide who our winner will be.
I love that as well. vengeurR had a massive, well, not a massive one, but he had the stack disadvantage, but knew that he could just play the range, just dueled with the heavy machine guns, and he can come out on top. That was a fantastic risk. Extremely well thought out and played there by vengeurR, as now he's the one in the lead, considering the start RAISY had up 3-0. Good rocket, coming in with the LG, but will be on fire for a little bit. Needs to try and recover. Good heavy machine gun. And now, though, having to restack once again. RAISY trying to go for the trade. Maybe too little too late there. It's now 6-3, and yeah, you can't make this stuff up, wait.
You can't, and these two are shooting like 40+ LGs against one another. It's just really, really wild what we are seeing right now. vengeurR is up by 3. RAISY now hurting. He's gonna stay at the top of the statue and wait. He throws out the fire. I think that was a bit of a desperation play, but he had to try to make something work here, as still a lot of time until that Mega. We're gonna be having a battle likely here at heavy next, and that heavy machine gun comes out for the RAISY this time. RAISY actually pushes vengeurR away, and vengeurR is forced to be unable to grab that heavy. So here we have the dual wheel coming out. A couple rockets do hit, but switching over to LG. Mega picked up, but it doesn't matter. vengeurR picks up another one. He's got a 5 frag lead.
Certainly does. vengeurR just trying to recover again. Things have gone well out of control for RAISY, but he does manage to bring that frag back with the MG. RAISY now looking to pick up the LG as well. So this is RAISY's time to try and restabilize and try and catch up in this matchup. Good use of the flame strike, but still not going to be enough. vengeurR got plenty of health, going to pick up the Mega. Bad timing, sadly, for RAISY to get taken down. It would have given him some massive leeway going forward. vengeurR, though, is going to try and go for that rotation to try and trap him in that red ring, but RAISY knows exactly what vengeur's plan of action is going to be. Has backed away, waiting for this next heavy. Does pick it up using the dual wield. This could be a good time for vengeurR to try and add added pressure, but it doesn't matter. He's waiting for that Mega coming up in the next few seconds. Is he going to go for it, though? He's going to dodge and weave these rockets. It looks like he does take it down and be able to pick up the Mega, so he could be able to increase his lead here, Wee.
Yeah, really nicely done here. RAISY's doing his best, and he is chipping away. But, I mean, that guy, like, both their LGs are just spot on. They're not missing at all. Fire's going to come out for RAISY to try to grab himself this heavy, but he does at what cost? Most of his life. He then immediately gets LG down. In the end, vengeurR now up by 6, and we've hit that halfway point. Now, there's still the realization of this map is that it could still go either way, right? If I was to say one thing about vengeurR is that he's playing wildly, he's playing great, but RAISY, who's setting up a trap right now, can't really do anything there. If he could just get one frag, gather some control, it is feasible that he could bring this one much, much closer than it is right now. We do see the dual wheel come out, and that's answered with the flame strike, and the flames do a little bit of damage, but not a whole lot. Does open up the door, though, for RAISY to move in. As the Mega's about to spawn, it's up, and he's going to get it as a reward for taking down vengeurR before it spawns. 5 to 10 now. 5 frags is what RAISY needs to tie this back up.
vengeur's had some good use of the dual wield. Also, nice job on that tactical suicide earlier on just to save 2 or 3 seconds on the respawn, but this could be RAISY's time to try and catch up, but once again needs to recover, but the heavy will definitely help him out by a mile. Waiting to see. Oh, it does take that one rocket right at the very end. He thought that was going to be it, and vengeurR can back away. That's not going to happen. Uses that flame strike to try and keep him at bay, keep him away. If it does affect him, it means he does have to push on forward to find the nearest health bubble, but it's going to be okay. His stacks are relatively similar. As a dual comes out for vengeurR, RAISY just keeping that height advantage, and vengeurR again just dodging it. Oh, that direct is going to help RAISY a ton. So is the heavy. We'll be able to clean up vengeurR, and vengeur's got to be a bit worried here with the trouble which RAISY could cause, because the items are segregated.
Yeah.
He's about to pick up the Mega, and if he doesn't get, you know, even at the next engagement, as long as it's a very rough engagement for RAISY, then he can trade and then be able to try and figure out what his next move is, or his next motive anyway.
And RAISY's staying on top of things, taking away those lights as well. And, you know, in that last engagement, he did a really good job dancing around this pillar here, veer heavy, to negate the dual wield that came out. Almost hit that beautiful mid-air rocket. He's going to go back down, sees that there's no light there. Get ready for the Mega. Dual wield comes out, and vengeurR is going to be able to use that as an advantage to bring back in. But immediately after spawn, coming back in, he's going to go after and attack vengeurR. Down to 12 points health. Both players incredibly low. RAISY's going to disengage, grab the 250s in the red room, and head on over to the heavy now. He's got to be careful, though, as the flame strike is going to come out. That's going to be just enough to let him move in there. Down to 9 points health, and vengeurR gets the magic bullet that takes RAISY out. It's still a 5-frag game, and RAISY has been so close to begin to bring this back to his favor.
It depends what vengeurR wants to do now, like what his next motive's going to be. Does he want to try and chill a little bit and waste a bit of time or not? Because at the same time, if you look at the stack, vengeur's got no armor. Doesn't have the exact timing on the Mega as of yet, but the heavy is up, and look at that. RAISY's already made a bit of a mistake, leaving that heavy to go in favor of vengeurR and prioritizing the kill. It's probably the wrong time for it, and he's got the dual wield out. Even though he's been flamed, he's going to be able to try and back away. He can get the nearest health bubble, which is directly next to him. He's going to be okay. So that one mistake could actually cost RAISY to come back in this matchup. But then again, RAISY, great LG, as vengeurR is trying to keep his distance with the heavy machine gun, and good spawn trap in the red room.
Wow, and that's how quickly it can turn, as suddenly it's a 3-frag game, less than 90 seconds to go here. vengeurR is going to go up against RAISY's LG, and RAISY just low enough that vengeurR can take that one. But off of the spawn, We get RAISY with a big rocket hit. Dual wield LG comes out as BJ just flies towards his opponent. He's going to get another one here. Maybe. No, he doesn't. He runs out of ammo, and that allows RAISY to not only get the frag, but also pick up that Mega. Now LG is out. What is he going to do here? He knows that the clock is ticking here. Harry, he knows that he's only got about a minute to get 4 frags, and that is going to be pretty tough, but he's going to give it everything that he's got.
Just relentless aggression from vengeur's scary. Even RAISY's just trying to just keep him calm and just tell him to have a day off, but he's just absolutely not. But look at this, though, 40 seconds left. Just trying to find 4 frags. Even though RAISY does pick up the Mega, every frag has to be clean sailing, but I can't imagine it happening. vengeurR just backing away, doing what he should be doing, having the dual wield ready and prepped.
Wow.
Does manage to take him down. That's going to be pretty much it, as vengeurR will take this series 2-1. And even the chat predicted it was 50-50. No one could decide who could come out on top in this final map.
It was a real impressive series across the board. Both players showing phenomenal play. GGs go out, and the final score is going to be 11-15 in favor of vengeurR, and that's going to bump him up to 7-1 in series wins, and that puts RAISY at 4-4, which kind of makes me nervous for what's going into the final week, and then of course the finals. But let's bring Flea back in, get his thoughts on the matchup, and see what he thinks.
Wheat, you said you like it a little dirty, a little messy, and I think that is exactly what we got. That was one of the most breathtaking series of Quake that I've seen in quite a while. Both of these players in prime form. The aim was on, the decision-making was great, and then you still get these disparities in score, right? Let's just run through it real quick. We started off on Awoken, map 1, RAISY struck vengeurR on Doom, and RAISY just comes out playing an incredibly aggressive game, making vengeurR just seem completely lost on the map. Yes, he has that vertical movement advantage, but that doesn't matter when your opponent is so quick and harasses you at every single turn. And the peeker, the ability usage from RAISY, so refined and clever, helping him get what, I think 20 kills to just 5 on vengeur's end. It was beautiful. And then map 2 on Deep Embrace, we see the complete opposite. All of a sudden, vengeurR just absolutely pops off as Athena, showing, like you said, Wheat, how powerful this champion can be on this map. I tuned into the game for a moment while in the lobby myself, and I saw that vengeurR was at 54% LG, like 7 minutes into that game, and he had 1.7k damage over his opponent. vengeurR was just on fire with his aim. And then of course the final map, close for much of it, neither player really being able to establish control. One of the things that really stood out to me was that vengeurR was losing out on the item game. RAISY had almost twice as many megas, twice as many heavies, and still vengeurR was, what, 5 frags ahead? It was 10-5 at that point. These were some bizarre matches, incredible Quake. And I think we're all really excited to ask a few questions and see what the players wanted to say, what vengeurR himself thinks of this.
Yeah, I think we've got a lot of questions to ask him, especially after that second map. It was it was just nothing short of remarkable. At the same time, I'm interested about the first map as well. We want to maybe question, you know, what went wrong, what mistakes he felt he made. So obviously there was a few consistent errors across the board. There wasn't been a 15 frag deficit for nothing. I mean, we can maybe also ask him about the Athena matchup on Deep Embrace and how he's able to make it work. But believe it or not, we don't have to worry. We do have an interview going with vengeurR. He's going to be coming up now to see exactly what his thoughts are. And vengeurR, congratulations. That was definitely a very aggressive approach. I can see as well you're just relieved to come up with that series win. But for starters, one, how do you feel? And second question, how did you make Athena work so well on Deep Embrace?
Hello, thank you guys, by the way. Well, it's never easy. And I think it kind of shows you that Doom is not really sometimes the best pick on Awoken. For some reason, against Rogue I always struggle. I really think that Struggle is probably the best champion in the game right now. So I knew that it could be really tough and it could be super snowball if I mess up so much. Especially at the start, there were so many situations where I couldn't finish the kill, and then it just I had to rush to get back into the game, and that was the result at the end. Yeah, on the second map, I just had to reset. I know that the match doesn't finish after one map, after 10 minutes, but you have to play the series. So I just played good in a way, in Deep Embrace, especially with Athena. I think it's something I saw from Rafa, if to ask you to answer your question. I see him playing her really well, so I just tried to practice as much as I could with her, and yeah, it shows kinda she's really good. And on final map, I don't know, like those rockets. I have no clue what to say about that.
They were good. They were good. We can't complain about that.
vengeurR, congratulations. You've already walked us through all the maps yourself, so I'm not going to ask any more specifics. Instead, a more general question. I think your last match coming up will be against Cooler. How do you feel about that series?
Well, first of all, congratulations to him, because after today he's not in relegation zone anymore, so well played. And second of all, I don't really have a good history against Cooler. Like, I think the last 5 encounters, I lost 3 of them, but I'm gonna play as always, try to win till the last second. I hope I will win, because it will be the best score for me. Like, if I will go 8-1, I think it will be the best finish ever for me in Quake Pro League, so I hope I can manage to win.
vengeurR, congrats. You mentioned that it could be your best finish, and you've been amazing us on the casting desk and everyone in chat week after week. And I go back to this interview that we had either at the very beginning of the stage or right at the end of last stage. And, you really talked about your own improvement, improving your game. I want to ask, as you're heading into the finals, definitely looking to be ranked at the very top on the EU side, are you feeling as good as you've ever felt in these weeks going into the finals?
I think so, yes. I still need to figure out some stuff, and I'm also gonna get a new config for the QuakeCon, so I'm gonna get a new monitor, 360 Hz, and like I can at least feel more confident, even hardware-wise. So I'm really grateful to Bonehead System, by the way. Shout out to them for helping me with the PCs. Yeah, I've been doing everything I can, like inside the game and outside the game, like eating good. I've been working out, fitness, running, road review, playing, practicing. Like, I don't know if I will go to QuakeCon and whatever result, I know that I will give 100% anyway. So it doesn't matter if I win, if I lose. I know that I'm giving up basically all summer to play and win this tournament. So I'm 100% focused on that, and any other result it will be a failure, because I'm really practicing really, really hard, and it's really hard, especially like with all these players, to perform always at the very best. So I'm proud of myself, actually, to be this high in the leaderboard.
Well, we've got a lot of people that are proud of you on this side too. So great job. Another awesome week. Congratulations.
Yeah, very determined individual there, but well done, vengeurR. Congratulations once again, and we'll see you on at stage 3 finals, but of course we'll see you next week against Cooler. So you and RAISY put on a phenomenal performance.
Yeah,
it was definitely a match to watch, and we still got one more after this as well. But yeah, congrats once again, mate.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, it's just nice to see his thoughts, and just like, the Athena pick on the second map, and how he's just able to mentally reset himself going to the second one, because that was a heavy defeat in that first map, by 15 francs by any standards. It can be a tad bit tilting, but do you know what? That's not even the last match of the day, guys. We still got one more match left to go between Avec and Cypher. So guys, make sure you guys do not go anywhere. I'll be back in just a few minutes.